my camera's on first.
I don't have to do anything.
This is true. I'm thankful that I come back here and I throw a camera in your face and we actually have an upload.
Yeah. What are you doing here?
It's Tech Tuesday, right?
Yeah, but you're on vacay.
Yeah, vacation turned into a staycation. I'm not doing what I wanted to do. Hey guys, good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. We do have a lot of your questions. A lot I'm gonna have to defer to possibly next week or the week after. This is working.
Yeah.
We're having fun.
Yeah.
We're broadcasting to Corvette people. We're helping people. We're making suggestions. Real quick though, I want to say thank you to Sean Jones at the Corvette Invasion in Texas. He was so generous to Ryan and I. I was supposed to be there this coming weekend. As I just said, my staycation is not a vacation and we're just not traveling now. I wanted to go to that show so bad, partly because I wanted to ride in the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. That was going to be pretty cool.
That'd be cool.
It's not going to happen, so he's got us on the calendar for next year, and I hope that all works out. But have a great show this weekend, Sean. Thank you again for asking Ryan and I to come down. Give me some pictures. Happy to share those in a ride segment that we'll have at the end of today's upload. We do have a lot of emails.
Pardon me while I turn my alarm off.
Oh, was it an alarm? Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought it was a new ringtone.
No, just an alarm.
Alarm for what? Your stupid Vegas game? Your poker game?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Let's get to work.
All right, let's see. This one comes from Alan. It says, I've noticed something strange on my 2021 C8. As I was washing it today, I left the winter mats in since I took delivery of my car May 2021. I took them out to clean the carpet and on the passenger side was soaking wet. Why is this happening? My car's never been out in the rain. Thanks, I hope you answer this on Tech Tip Tuesday. Yes, there's a bulletin for this. The AC drain hose is probably not connected on the passenger side. So anytime you run the air conditioner or even the defroster, the AC's running, and with the drain hose not being hooked up, it's dumping the water right in the passenger floorboard.
It's a relatively easy fix. It's on the passenger side in the center console there. Is that correct? They got to peel that part back and they can actually just check it there. If not, then they can reclamp that.
Yeah, be careful though. You don't want to break the clips pulling that panel back.
Okay, yeah, let your dealer do that. That's covered under warranty. All right, I've got one more of just a comment right now, which I do appreciate the feedback. This comes from Brad. He says, Rick, I was hanging out with some other Corvette clients yesterday. We're showing off our cars, and he goes, strangely enough, your name came up. And he goes, hey, you watch Rick Conti? He goes, yeah, so do I. He goes, hey, you know what though? Sometimes Rick says, make a comment down below. He goes, what does that mean? And then Brad kind of chuckles and he says, well, you guys watch on TV, don't you? He goes, Rick, it might be worthwhile mentioning to the folks that watch us on the big screen, the big TV, please don't, stand back. If you got to make a comment, I like that engagement and that feedback from you guys. If you're going to make a comment, do that on your computer or your mobile device. He says, my dad's 88 years old. He watches all the time too. And he'll say to me sometimes, he goes, what does that Rick mean? Make a comment down below. I don't know what that means. Thanks guys, everybody out there watching. I do appreciate that. Here's a quick one from Johnny. It says, Rick and Chuck, thank you for all the content. You're a great resource for the C8 Corvette and other generations as well. I was just advised to my dealer that my 23 Corvette is just about built and I've got a trade-in. How do I properly remove or delete my profile information in the settings before I trade the vehicle? As far as actually how to do that, I didn't look at the procedure, but I would go back to reset factory settings, go into the Bluetooth, into your phones, delete your phone, delete your profile. If you got your profile on your My Chevy app, delete all that stuff in through the settings and the vehicle tabs. That should be good enough to get you going so you don't have to worry about that stuff being in there. I mean, usually when you see that stuff, when you get a car in on trade, like even C7, you'll delete the phones. And if you miss it, I delete it before I sell the used car. So something real easy, but try those steps and hopefully that helps you. What else you got, bud?
All right, this one comes from Steve. He says, is it possible to retrofit a PDR in my C7 Z06? I watched the video of your autocross experience. The intensity on your face is great. I sure want to do that as well with road race like Ron Fellows. Yeah, no, I don't think you can.
Oh, no, you can't. We get that a lot, and I know he's got a nicely equipped car. Thank you for watching. And the autocross and the PDR gives you so much great experience, feedback, and it's a great education. But unfortunately, in C7, even C8, it's a combination of hardware and software, so it's not something that we can just retrofit and put in. We get that a lot. Hey, I missed this feature. Can we just go ahead and just put it in on the backside? No, when it's a combination of hardware and software, no, unfortunately, you can't do that. Go ahead. I know you got a bunch there. Go ahead and do another one.
Yeah. This one comes from Jim. It says, I had the magnetic ride control done on my 2017 Grand Sport by my local Chevy dealer. Is there any way to determine if it was done, or do I have to take it to another dealer to verify it was done correctly? As you have stated in the past, not all Chevy dealers are Corvette qualified. I have my doubts that it was done, as I haven't really seen any difference in the ride quality. The magnetic ride upgrade is just a software program. The unfortunate part about it is, and I don't know if your Chevy dealer told you this or not when you did it, you're supposed to let the car sit for 8 hours after you program it without being keyed up.
But you could do it in 8 hours, if you don't mind. I don't mean to jump in here, but 8 hours is to get the full benefit if you're going to go tracking. But I mean, if you just did it for a couple of hours and you're just a guy that cruises and drives your car, I think immediately you're going to feel the difference in that.
Yeah, so the only way you can tell is by taking it to another Chevy dealership and having them look at the suspension program to see if it's been changed. But yeah, I mean, there's not really a good way to tell if it was done or not.
If he sent you the VIN, would you see it in the GM system? Would it show a download?
Yeah, possibly.
Okay, here we go. Hey, can you check mine, Chuck? Can you check mine? Can you check mine? And I'll tell you, they did that in 2019. We were fortunate enough to actually interview Jim Mero, the guy that came up with that program. I'll put a link down below, and I'll put a link up in here if you got the YouTube app. Jim is a great guy, but it came standard on the 19s. And I remember at the time, as we were waiting for C8, I would drive an 18, and then I was driving a 19. And what you're gonna feel is in the touring mode, it's gonna be softer. In the sport and track mode, they're gonna be more responsive and tighter. I felt it immediately in the 19. And not everybody can.
Right.
You and I are unique.
Well, we're in tune with that kind of thing.
Yeah. And it is, I know, I feel and hear crap in cars that other people don't, but I did feel it right away. Just like when I put that Blue Attack air filter on my C8. Oh, you can't really feel that difference. Yes, I can. It accelerates faster without going higher RPMs, it really does. But anyways, back to the software, it does make a big difference. So have somebody check that VIN out for you. Make sure that it's sat for the proper amount of time, at least a couple of hours. And you are gonna notice the benefits and you're gonna love it.
All right, this one comes from Craig. Says, I am wanting to have my automatic 8-speed fluid service done on my car since it's almost 6 years old, and replaced with the newer Mobil 1 synthetic LVATF HP fluid. Does mine already have it? I firmly believe in changing due to age, not just mileage.
Did he send you the VIN?
Well, yes.
Check mine, Chuck.
Yeah, very correct. The fluids need change due to age, not just mileage, because even the age on the fluid, they need change. Okay, it says, my question is, not exactly sure what the triple...
Oh, did you check his though?
Yes, it has not been done. No, has not been done. Not exactly sure what the triple flush is. Please explain this procedure. According to General Motors, this triple flush is you pull the transmission pan off the car, clean out the pan, clean out the magnets, put it back in, fill it back up, run it, pull the transmission pan back off, clean it out, clean out the magnets, put it back together, fill it up, run it one more time, then do it again. That's your triple flush. You're doing it 3 times. His second part of this question is, does the fluid exchange machine, he gives a number here, with the fluid exchange kit, replace all the fluid in the transmission, cooler lines, torque converter, etc. Usually the transmission flush machines, depending on where you hook it in, I know on the C7s, where you have to hook them in, it gets all the fluid except for the cooler, but the cooler only holds maybe a half a quart to a quart if that, so you're exchanging all the rest of the fluid. Wouldn't the use of the fluid exchange machine be the best method for servicing my trans fluid versus the triple flush? I can just tell you what GM put out there as what they want it done, why it's under warranty. That's the way they want it done. I mean, if the car's out of warranty and you want it have it done with the fluid exchange machine, you're more than welcome to. And
it's important too, though, right, Chuck, to use that newer fluid. We talked about that last couple of weeks. It's changed over the last few years. You've got to use the proper fluid, or else that's all for naught.
Exactly. And are all Chevy dealers equipped to have this machine? They should be. I can't say for sure if they do, but they should.
All right, here's one from Jim. Rick, big fan of the channel, you and Chuck. My tech question is, he's got a 2012 Grand Sport. When I crank my wheel, I feel a rub or some kind of a clunking sound. This happens when I'm in reverse or making a turn. I've heard this is normal on the Grand Sport wide tires. I'd like to hear yours and Chuck's thoughts. Any advice how to reduce this trembling, as he calls it? It's pretty bad in the car. Jim, yeah, that's what they call tire skipping, tire chopping, and we have that all the way through C7, Grand Sport, Z06s, those wider tires. I see you live in California. You can have a beautiful 80-degree day, but your car's inside in a cool garage sitting on cool concrete, and it's at lower speeds and turns, as you mentioned. I would change out the tires to get rid of that. That is a normal characteristic. You hear that, you're like, wow, what's going on with my car, man? And if you don't know about that, if it was never explained to you, you'd say, okay, there's something wrong with the car, I'm afraid to drive it. But notice it only happens at low speeds, and it's not necessarily because it's 80 outside. You come off from cool, it's a combination of cool tires, cool environment, or cool concrete. But I would change to an all-season tire that a lot of folks did in C6 and C7, and they do marvels for just the driving experience and better contact. You actually feel like you're more connected to the road, which makes you feel safer as well.
All right, this one comes from Jim. Says, I have a 2019 Grand Sport that has 7,000 miles on it. I've read that the Grand Sport and Z06 come from the factory with a track alignment. I have also read this setup will wear the tires out quicker. Is it crucial that the alignment shop have the rear caster tool to do the street alignment? There again, I've read the street alignment changes the way it handles. Okay, I mean, yeah, the only way they can set the rear caster is to have a special tool. And what I do on these is I stretch out, take the camber, because they're cambered in and they're towed in, and I straighten the camber out, straighten the toe out, almost to the outer limits of what the specs are, to give you a better street alignment and less wear on the tires. So, but yeah, if you need that rear caster tool.
Well, yeah, if you want to do a four-wheel alignment, you need to do all four wheels. We had a guy months ago that said, hey, finally went back in several times to the dealer. Oh yeah, we did it. Yeah, oh, we got the tool. Yeah, we did it. And he's like, well, the car doesn't feel right. And finally they admitted to him, and I don't know why they didn't tell him in the first place. They said, well, no, we don't have the rear tool. We didn't do it. He goes, why the heck did you tell me you did in the first freaking place? Oh my gosh. All right, this is sort of a Tech Tuesday question. Hi, Rick, Chuck, and Nate. This comes from Tom at PA. He says, I really enjoy the channel. I'm a proud owner of a 21 C8 Corvette, my first Corvette after owning many high-end cars. And I must admit, this is my favorite car that I've ever owned. The Tech Tuesdays bring back great memories to my youth when I worked in a body shop for a few years before college, laughing and teasing and joking with each other. My question is in regards... Waiting for the compressor to turn off. Okay, there it goes. I gotta realize I am in a shop.
Correct.
So I can't get frustrated, right? I mean, you're trying to record in a shop, for goodness sakes. My question is in regards to autocross that you've been doing. I went to Ron Fellows and enjoyed the heck out of it. Since then, I've done some track experiences with other companies and they used their cars. On your last video, you mentioned someone was tracking their car. She had a non-Z51 and she was doing autocross. I too have a non-Z51, but I do have the mag ride, he says. If you decide to autocross your specific car, what recommendations do you and Chuck have for preparing it? It's actually a good question. I too have a non-Z51, but I do have the magnetic ride. I just actually added the Z51 spoiler. And I talked to Chuck about that before I went out and started doing this autocross. If you're gonna do just some spirited, fun driving, number one, a lot of people, we were just talking about alignment. Like, hey Rick, do you have the track alignment? I'm not screwing with the track alignment, street alignment, track alignment, going back and forth. Number one, it's expensive to do that. And number two, I'm not competing. I'm going out for spirited, fun driving, and the car is set up from the factory just as I need it. If you're gonna do higher speed events, one thing that I'm gonna talk to Chuck about is maybe upgrading, because I don't have Z51, is maybe upgrading my rotors and my brake pads. But I've been doing more low speed, most recent sessions that you referenced, that was the highest speed we got. a lot of turning, a lot of braking, so I think I might need some brakes. But I did do, and I actually have another set right here, and actually I meant to say last week, it wasn't you that jinxed us. Somebody wrote in about a flat tire. One of our viewers got a flat tire, and I got a freaking nail on my tire too, but it's a good thing I got a set of Z51 tires here. So I got a set of standard rims and Z51 tires, even though we have non-Z51 cars. These tires do make a difference on the track. And you could still track with all season tires, don't get me wrong. I wanted to drive a little bit more aggressively. I'm hoping in 2 weeks to do pit race in Pittsburgh, and that'll be a little bit higher speed session. I'm gonna have Chuck look at my brake pads. They should be fine. I just wanna make sure they're good, but we're gonna put these tires on before I go and do that. So you have to really kind of evaluate what you're going to do, what your expectations are out of autocross. It sounds like you're gonna have some fun. You're not gonna go competing and putting roll cages in your car. So the factory alignment and so forth should be just fine and dandy. Beyond that, the other thing I would probably do, again, I got to remember we're in the C8 era, add the 2 extra quarts of transmission fluid to your transmission. That I did do as well. And I added the Blue Attack air filter that we talked about earlier on today's show. So those couple little quick things for some nice spirited driving. And my car has been, knock on wood, has been great.
Yes.
It really has. I mean, you know that I'm beating the crap out of the car, but I'm having fun with the car, but that's what the car was intended for.
Well, and the problem is if you take your car in and have a track alignment put on it, now the car's not going to run on the street right. So you have to take it back. Yeah, that gets really expensive for a track event. The factory alignment, just like the gentleman was talking, not only on the Grand Sport and the Z06, but all of the vets have basically a factory out of the box race alignment.
Here, this went longer today than I want, but I enjoy the conversation with you guys.
And like you said, the other most important thing is adding the 2 quarts of transmission fluid.
Yeah,
that's a big thing.
You got one more?
I got one more.
I got one more too, so you go ahead.
Okay, this one comes from Harold. Says, Rick and Chuck, I have a question regarding the oil change on my 2021 C8 HTC. I picked up my car at the Corvette Museum on April of 2021. It was an 800-mile highway trip home to Tampa area. In February of 2022, I needed to go to my Chevy dealer with a tire issue. I had 2,593 miles on the car at that time, probably a total of 1,000 highway. The rest were around town stop and go. Service rep told me I had 20% oil life left, so they did the one-time, no-charge oil and transmission filter change.
That's the first service.
Yeah, first service, okay? I don't know how much time you had left, but really that was too early to do your DTC filter. I have my customers, I give them the choice if you want to, because you're only going to get the first one free anyway, so I like to run that out closer to the 7,500 miles like GM recommends. But if you want the oil change beforehand, you can pay for that oil change and save that first service to where you get closer to the 7,500 mile. It says, I now have 3,700 miles on my car. My oil life is reading 65%. I have 2 questions. Can I safely reset my oil life reminder without changing my oil? Yes, you can. Just make sure you're keeping track of the mileage, because on the new C8s they're counting down time as well as mileage, so they have that internal clock that's always moving. Also, since I had my training fluid and filter changed at 2,593 miles, when should it be changed again? 7,500 miles? Question mark. Thank you. Okay, well,
I told you we're going to talk about this stuff over and over again as people get these cars, and it's important, and we don't mind doing that because we want you guys to maintain the cars properly.
Sure. After the first filter, I mean, I don't know, you had it done at what, 2,500 miles?
Yeah, he really did it too early.
Yeah, and like I said, that's why we tell our customers, look, you're only going to get the first one free, so we'd rather you run it out to the end of the time or the mileage, whichever comes first. Just don't let it go past the 7,500 miles. After that, GM says you're not supposed to change it, but every 22,000 miles.
Yeah, 22,500.
22,500. But since you changed it early, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you'd be better off to change it again at 7,500 and then go out to the 22.5 or... Well,
the nice thing is you got the oil life percentage that you can set independently if you decided to do that. You've got the transmission fluid life, so you can monitor that so you can see how you're going. And that's another change that has to be done within 3 years. So you don't have to worry about that. And for the folks that have 23s, I'm jealous that I don't have the canister filter life percentage. Yeah, so basically he would have to know where he was when he did that first one, what, at 2,500 miles or something like that?
Yeah, 2593.
22,000 after that, so you're gonna be around 25,000 miles.
Unless he feels more comfortable having it done again at 7,500.
And again, those are extremes.
Yeah.
Then you gotta factor in your actual driving style and conditions and so forth.
Because it tells you right in the manual, you know, this filter change has to do with your driving habits. If you're doing aggressive, low speed, high speed.
Oh, I got to do mine a lot more frequently, and it says that if you're doing aggressive driving, you need to look at this a little bit sooner, and I do, and I have quite often, and I am going to be back again.
I know you will.
All right, last one today. Again, thank you for enjoying the conversation and sending in these questions. We get a lot that we're going to carry over the next couple of weeks. This one comes from Frank. Rick, I recently discovered your channel. Love you and Chuck. Thank you for the contribution to the community. I'm a first-time Corvette owner. Congratulations. Got a 22 C8 hardtop convertible. Check this out. My previous 3 cars were Ferrari, Lambo, 911 Turbo. I just love this C8, and I've been on the Z06 list for 18 months now. After watching your Tech Tuesday videos, my girlfriend insisted that I contact you to find out who the artist is that you play at the end on your ride segment. I tried to Google it, came up with nothing. I know how busy you are. I appreciate it. Take the time to let us know who that is on the beautiful ride segment. That is Anna Yvette, and it's Can't Wait to See You Again. I get that question a lot. I mean, it's probably her best song ever. And we play that each and every Tuesday, as we're about to do now. I'm gonna go home and finish my staycation. I'm gonna take a nap.
I'm on back to work.
I know. Yeah, I know. I stop you all the time. I really appreciate you doing that, seriously. I do. I appreciate you taking the time for Tech Tuesdays.
I enjoy being here with you.
And I know the audience does too. Yeah. And I know before you go, you guys like to check out some great looking cars. And I'm sure that we have some good ones for you this week too. Here they are, your beautiful rides.
I was too young, and I didn't understand that you were the one, and I can't wait to see you hindsight is fleeting, when your heart's bleeding, and all you can see is red, till you discover it is within each other to forgive and make amends. If I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't have said what I said. I took the long road, thought I'd be better on my own. Sometimes what's right is wrong instead, 'cause I was too young, and I didn't understand that you were the one, and I can't wait to see you again. Oh, I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait, 'cause I was too young, and I didn't understand that you